Listen to me, life is tough. Life will test you, push you, knock you down so hard you feel like you can't breathe. But let me tell you something, the strongest people aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who keep getting back up. They're the ones who take the pain, take the struggle, take the rejection, and turn it into fuel. Because mental strength isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. You don't become mentally strong by avoiding hardship. You become mentally strong by facing it, by learning from it, by refusing to let it break you. Every setback is a setup for a comeback, but only if you decide that failure is not an option. And that decision, that's all in your mind. You got to ask yourself, what do you do when life hits you in the mouth? What do you do when the people you trusted betray you? What do you do when the road ahead looks impossible? Because that right there, that's the moment that separates the strong from the weak. That's when you either rise or you let life bury you. So today we talk about how to become mentally strong, how to build a mindset that refuses to quit, how to turn adversity into power. Let's get to it. Everything starts in the mind. Before you ever win in life, you have to win in your head. If your mind is weak, your life will be weak. If your mind is filled with doubt, your actions will be hesitant. If your mind is controlled by fear, you will never take the steps necessary to reach your full potential. That's the reality. The battlefield isn't out there, it's in here. The thoughts you allow to take root in your mind will either empower you or enslave you. See, most people don't lose because they lack talent or opportunity. They lose because they let the wrong thoughts control them. They let fear dictate their choices. They let self-doubt whisper in their ear. They let their past mistakes define their future. But the strongest, the ones who rise above, they understand one thing. Your thoughts determine your actions, and your actions determine your destiny. You have to train your mind like a warrior because life is going to throw everything at you to break you. It will test your patience, it will shake your confidence, it will challenge your faith. People will betray you, doors will close, plans will fall apart. And in those moments, the only thing that will determine whether you rise or fall is the way you think. That's it. It's not about luck, it's not about circumstances, it's about mindset. Weak minds focus on what they can't control, strong minds focus on what they can. You can't control how people treat you, but you can control how you respond. You can't control every obstacle in your way, but you can control whether you let it stop you or push you forward. You can't control what life throws at you, but you can control whether you let it make you bitter or make you better. That's the difference between people who rise and people who stay stuck. The strong understand that they have power over their mind, and if they control their mind, they control their life. You ever notice how some people can go through hell and still come out stronger, while others go through a little hardship and break? It's not because life is easier for one person than the other. It's because one of them has trained their mind to be stronger than their emotions. One of them has decided that no matter what happens, they will not let it break them. That's the mindset you need. That's the level of mental strength you have to build. Stop feeding your mind with negativity. Stop entertaining self-doubt. Stop allowing your past failures to predict your future success. What you think about, you become. What you focus on, you create. If you're always telling yourself you're not good enough, that's exactly what you'll believe. If you're always focusing on your problems instead of your possibilities, you'll stay stuck. If you're always waiting for motivation instead of creating discipline, you'll never move forward. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. You can either listen to the voice of fear or you can listen to the voice of faith. You can either feed your doubts or you can feed your dreams. You can either let your circumstances control your mind or you can let your mind control your circumstances. The power is in your hands. Nobody else can do it for you. It starts with how you speak to yourself. The words you tell yourself shape your reality. If you keep saying, "I can't do this," you won't. If you keep saying, "I'm not strong enough," you'll never be. But the moment you start telling yourself, "I am strong, I am capable, I am unstoppable," your mind will start to believe it, and once your mind believes it, your actions will follow. You want to be mentally strong? Train your mind every day. Wake up and declare who you are. Wake up and remind yourself that you are not a victim, you are a fighter. That you are not weak, you are powerful. That no matter what life throws at you, you will rise. Speak it until you believe it. Believe it until you become it. Because at the end of the day, Your mind will either be your greatest weapon or your greatest enemy, and the choice is yours. Pain is a teacher, struggle is a builder, pressure creates diamonds. But the weak run from it. They avoid it. They look for an easy way out, a shortcut, a path with no resistance. But the strong face it head on. They embrace the discomfort. They understand that mental strength isn't built in moments of comfort. It's forged in the fire of adversity. See, most people want to be strong, but they don't want to go through what it takes to become strong. They want confidence, but they don't want to endure the failures that build it. They want resilience, but they don't want to suffer through the struggles that shape it. They want growth, but they don't want to experience the pain that forces it. That's the difference. Mental strength isn't given, it's earned. It's built in the moments when you feel like giving up, but keep going anyway. You have to change the way you see struggle. Most people see it as something negative, something to be avoided. But struggle is not your enemy. Struggle is your greatest opportunity. Every time you face resistance, every time life knocks you down, you have a choice. Let it break you or let it build you. And the ones who become unshakable, they don't see obstacles as problems. They see them as training. Every setback is a lesson. Every hardship is a test. Every failure is fuel. You have to develop a mindset where nothing can shake you, where no matter how hard it gets, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how tired you are, you keep moving forward. Because mental strength isn't about being fearless. It's about pushing forward despite the fear. It's about controlling your emotions instead of letting them control you. It's about understanding that pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. Most people stop at the first sign of difficulty. The first rejection, they give up. The first failure, they walk away. The first time something doesn't go their way, they convince themselves it wasn't meant to be. That's weakness talking. That's a fragile mindset. The strong see failure and keep going. The strong take rejection and use it as motivation. The strong don't let emotions dictate their actions. They let discipline lead the way. When you understand that hardship is necessary for growth, you stop running from it, you stop complaining about it, you stop making excuses for why you can't push through it. Because here's the truth. There is no success without struggle. There is no strength without resistance. There is no growth without discomfort. Every great champion, every successful person, every leader who has made an impact, they all have one thing in common. They didn't quit when it got hard. They didn't back down when they faced resistance. They didn't let pain stop them. They let pain push them forward. Your mind is your strongest weapon, but only if you train it. Every time you push through discomfort, you get stronger. Every time you refuse to quit, you get tougher. Every time you prove to yourself that you can keep going, you build confidence that no one can take away from you. That's mental strength. It's not about pretending you don't feel pain. It's not about ignoring hardship. It's about facing it, walking through it, and coming out on the other side stronger than before. Stop wishing for life to get easier. Stop waiting for things to magically fall into place. Stop hoping that your problems will disappear on their own. That's not how strength is built. Strength is built in the struggle. Strength is built when you refuse to let life defeat you. Strength is built when you choose to rise, no matter how many times you've been knocked down. So the next time life gets hard, the next time you feel like quitting, the next time you wonder if you have what it takes, remember this. The struggle isn't here to stop you, it's here to strengthen you, and every single moment of difficulty is shaping you into the person you're meant to be. Most people want strength, but they don't want to go through the process of becoming strong. They want resilience, but they avoid the experiences that build it. They want to be unshakable, but they never allow themselves to be tested. That's the problem. Everybody wants the reward, but they don't want the struggle. They want the crown, but they don't want the weight that comes with it. But if you truly want to be mentally strong, you have to be willing to go through what most people won't. You have to be willing to endure, to push, to fight, to stand tall when everything around you is trying to break you. Mental strength is not something you're born with, it's something you develop. It's a muscle, and just like any other muscle, if you don't use it, it gets weak. You have to train your mind the same way you train your body. You have to push it, stretch it, make it uncomfortable, and force it to grow. That means putting yourself in difficult situations on purpose. That means challenging yourself even when you don't feel like it. That means embracing discomfort instead of running from it. Too many people live their lives in a bubble of comfort. They avoid anything that makes them feel uneasy, anything that pushes them past their limits. And because of that, they stay weak. They stay fragile. They crumble at the first sign of adversity because they've never allowed themselves to be tested. But the strong seek out the challenge. The strong walk toward the fire. The strong know that pressure creates diamonds, that adversity builds character, that struggle is the foundation of success. You have to be willing to suffer. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. You have to be willing to go through the hard times, to face rejection, to deal with failure, to keep moving forward even when nothing seems to be working. Because that's where mental strength is built. It's built in the moments when quitting seems like the easiest option, but you choose to keep going anyway. It's built in the moments when self-doubt creeps in, when fear takes hold, when everything in you wants to stop, but you refuse. That's when you grow. That's when you become unstoppable. There will be moments when life tests you, when it pushes you to the edge, when it feels like everything is against you. That's when you have to remind yourself, this is where the weak break, but I won't. This is where most people give up, but I won't. This is where the average stop, but I refuse to be average. That mindset, that level of determination is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. You have to control your mind, or your mind will control you. Thoughts of doubt, thoughts of fear, thoughts of insecurity will creep in. That's natural. But what's not natural is letting those thoughts dictate your actions. What's not natural is allowing them to keep you stuck, to hold you back, to stop you from becoming the person you were meant to be. You have to take control. You have to rewire your thinking. You have to stop entertaining thoughts that weaken you and start feeding your mind thoughts that strengthen you. Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they don't believe they're capable. They let fear win. They let self-doubt keep them in chains. They let negative voices, both from others and from within, convince them they're not enough. But when you train your mind, when you build mental strength, you no longer let fear decide your future. You no longer let insecurity hold you back. You no longer let life break you down. Instead, you rise. You stand. You face the challenge with confidence, knowing that no matter what comes your way, you will not be defeated. Discipline is the foundation of mental strength. Without it, you will fail. Without it, you will give up when things get hard. Without it, you will allow your emotions to dictate your actions instead of your purpose leading the way. But when you have discipline, when you have the ability to keep going even when you don't feel like it, when you show up every single day and do what needs to be done no matter what, that's when you become unstoppable. So ask yourself, do you truly want to be strong? Because if you do, you have to be willing to pay the price. You have to be willing to embrace the struggle, to endure the pain, to push through the obstacles, to face the challenges, and to keep moving forward no matter what. That's what mental strength is. It's not about being unbreakable. It's about being unshakable in the face of adversity. It's about refusing to quit, refusing to settle, refusing to let anything or anyone stop you from becoming the person you were created to be. There will come a time when you have to stand alone, a time when no one will be there to hold your hand, no one will be there to reassure you, no one will be there to tell you it's all going to be okay. And in that moment, you will either crumble under the weight of loneliness, or you will rise with a strength you never knew you had. That's what being mentally strong is all about. Standing firm even when the storm is raging, even when the world is against you, even when every voice in your head is telling you to quit. Because life will test you. Oh, it will test you. It will push you. It will stretch you. It will break you down just to see if you have what it takes to get back up. You can't build strength in easy times. Strength comes from struggle. Strength comes from pain. Strength comes from the moments when giving up seems like the only option, but you choose to keep going. That's what separates the weak from the strong. The weak let their emotions control them. The strong control their emotions. The weak give up at the first sign of adversity. The strong embrace adversity and let it mold them into something greater. The weak look for excuses, the strong look for solutions, and in the end, the strong always win. But you don't just wake up one day mentally strong. No, it takes time, it takes discipline, it takes pain, it takes suffering, it takes being uncomfortable, being afraid, being unsure, but pushing forward anyway. It's in those moments of uncertainty, those moments of self-doubt, those moments of fear where you either break or you break through. And the difference between those who succeed and those who fail, it's not talent, It's not luck. It's the ability to push through the pain, to endure, to keep moving forward even when everything inside you is telling you to stop. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Too many people quit when things get hard. They throw in the towel when the pressure is on. But pressure is what creates strength. You don't build muscle by lifting light weights. You build muscle by pushing past your limits, by lifting more than you thought you could, by going beyond what's comfortable. And the same is true for your mind. You build mental strength by pushing through resistance, by stepping outside your comfort zone, by facing the challenges head on instead of running from them. There are going to be times in life when things don't go your way, when everything you worked for seems to be falling apart, when the people you trusted betray you, when the opportunities you were hoping for slip through your fingers, when you feel like you're drowning, like you can't breathe, like you can't take one more step. But those moments, those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments that reveal what you're made of. Because anyone can be strong when things are easy. Anyone can have confidence when everything is going their way. But real strength is built in the struggle. Most people spend their whole lives avoiding pain, avoiding struggle, avoiding discomfort. But what they don't realize is that by avoiding the struggle, they're also avoiding their own strength. They're avoiding growth. They're avoiding transformation. Because pain is a teacher. Pain shapes you, molds you, refines you. It burns away weakness. It burns away fear. It burns away self-doubt. But only if you're willing to face it. Only if you're willing to endure. Only if you're willing to take the hits and keep moving forward. The strongest people you know, the ones who inspire you, the ones who have achieved greatness, they didn't get there because life was easy for them. No, they got there because they were willing to fight. They were willing to suffer. They were willing to do what most people won't do so they could live the life most people will never have. That's what sets them apart. That's what makes them different. And that's what you have to be willing to do if you truly want to be strong. So when life knocks you down, when the world turns its back on you, when everything seems impossible, you have a choice. You can either let it break you or you can let it build you. You can let it destroy you or you can let it shape you into something greater. But you have to decide. No one can do it for you. No one can walk this path for you. It's up to you to rise. It's up to you to keep going. It's up to you to refuse to quit. Because at the end of the day, your strength isn't just about what you endure. It's about what you overcome. And the only way to become mentally strong is to keep pushing, keep fighting, keep believing, and never ever give up. So now, the choice is yours. Do you keep making excuses? Do you keep running from discomfort? Do you keep letting failure define you? Or do you take control of your mind, embrace the struggle, eliminate weakness, and keep moving forward? Mental strength isn't given, it's earned. And the only way to earn it is to step up and take what's yours. Now go, be strong, be relentless, and never, ever stop pushing forward.